everyone. Welcome to your Dose of Truth Tarot. Today is December 31st, 2024. We're just waiting for the new year. And I thought, well, in between, even though we already have a week prediction out, I thought today we could give a little extra view. So someone has actually asked me, what do you do for the new year? Well, in my tradition, we clean up the house, which I'm doing right now. And when it becomes 12 o'clock, as soon as it hits 12 o'clock, we start running all the water in the house, all of the bathtubs, the sinks, so that we're letting in the new and releasing the old. It's very symbolic, obviously. And the other thing that has is happening is there was a new moon on Monday. So today's Tuesday, obviously, December 31st, and we're going into the new year. We're also in the waxing moon. What does all that mean? Well, one means this is a time where we can draw things to us. This is a good time to ask for things. The new moon let us know that we can have renewal and also the new year. Sorry, it's a little bit raining out, so I'm a bit itchy. So um, I wanted to ask a question someone asked me. Tell me what's the best advice the cards could give for practitioners this year? The transformation of the year. What's something practitioners can let go of? So let's see what practitioners. These are energy practitioners, healers. That can be doctors, nurses, as well. Anyone in the field of, I think coaching would be in there too. Also, I would say customer service, because customer service is a place where we help people. So let's see what the Yin Yang Oracle has to say. Confusion, illusions. That's the first one. So we're going to show it on the stream. So here we've got confusion and illusions. I don't know if you could see that very well. As usual, let's cover the entire. Today I'm not having such a good time with my camera. It's elongating things, so I put it on a slant a little bit. In any case, so this is all about confusion and illusions. So obviously, rose-colored glasses need to come off. I can say I can be guilty of this. Sometimes I'll look at someone and my intuition comes up. I have some information that I could give to them, but it feels a bit harsh or strong, so I tone it down. And then I hear the reply from the individual, and usually it's more toned down, or there can be defenses, and I'm quite surprised because I've toned it down. If it was told in the way my intuition told me, because intuition, she speaks really strongly, she gives a very you know powerful punch. It's very immediate. I remember um there was this male intuitive that someone told me about. I never got to see him. But men are a little bit different than women, um, in many ways. They tend to be. This is just something I've noticed. I'm not saying this is true. That men tend to be a little bit grumpier when they're intuitive, um, and women could tend to be more people pleasing. That's a generalization, because don't forget the imagery of an intuitive is usually the priestess. And so we usually see her, very um, elegant and beautiful in front of her cards. Think of James Bond. I forget which one it was, but uh, the virginal, intuitive, and priestess. And then there's, I think it was Jane Seymour that played her. She was rather, just very, very beautiful and very sedate, serene. And then James Bond seduces her, and she, of course, loses her ability. Figures that's all I remember about it. I can't remember which movie. I can't. I don't know if that was with Saramenko or whatever. I'm not good at remembering the rest, but I am. I like remembering what's in my field. They talk about, uh, you know, really pointed and thinking of only what I like to think about. Okay, I know my husband would tell me immediately. I know which movie this is. Okay, something's happened to the camera. Might just might just have to fix this up. Yeah, let's see. So something's going on with the camera. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, a few technical difficulties, but I'm back. So we were doing what's in store for practitioners, what we need to look at, and that's all about. This can be confusion of your client. It can be your own confusion. I find I get really confused when someone becomes very defensive. So that means, we do need to um, train our minds to really assess what the intuition is telling us. And, I've been doing this for 60 or so years, and I've always found it um, an adventure to explain what I'm sensing. I mean, the way I used to tell people what was going to happen is so different than the way I tell them today. Today, it's just definitely with rose colored glasses, um, definitely watered down. And sometimes I think I need to go back to the old way and just really give it to someone very strong. Um, so this says, it's going to be more confusing if you have rose-colored glasses. So this is giving me a little message too. Maybe you just need to be straight up. You don't have to be harsh or rough, but sometimes we need to be not just the elegant priestess that I was talking about from Jane Seymour's role, but also the Wicked Witch, because, um, well, she's not necessarily wicked, but the old smelly witch, let's say. She doesn't have to be wicked, just being a witch. Sorry, I shouldn't have said just wicked, because it could definitely be, you know, not necessarily Glenda from Wizard of Oz, but um, the witches that are more like hibernating. And I think men sometimes embody it. This is in my experience only over many, many years of seeing the way men will bring intuition to the forefront versus women. Now, some men are super gentle. Yeah, and women can be harsher. So that is also true. But many of the men that I've heard about who do tarot or readings or mediums have been very straight up. I've been to some that have been very, very straight up, whereas the women are often apologetic, let's say. So, that's something we need to look out for, having that nice, happy medium between the two, not having too many rose colored glasses. Let's see if there's anything else the cards want to tell us. This is fire. So there you go. It's leaning in the direction of being a little bit more risky, right? We're leaning in the direction of, hey, you could be a little bit riskier in what you need to or what you want to say to someone. Okay. Um, and let's take another one. Yeah, and this is comfort zone clinging. So often we have to be cautious of clinging to the comfort zone. All right. Now I want to do a second part for the new year. So that's what we need to let go of today. It's something we can look at and go, you know what? I'm going to let go of my rose colored glasses. They're too confusing. I don't need to be in an illusion. I just need to do my readings and move forward. I find that difficult being online here. I don't have too much feedback. I do have some, but it's not a ton. So I have no idea what's going on with people. Some people really enjoy it, they give nice comments. And then I hear from people privately. So, so we'll see how this goes. Now let's look at what do we need to know. This is for single people out there, you single people. What's going on? Whoa, avoidance and stalemate. So look at what you are avoiding within yourself. And I asked specifically for single people. So, what are you avoiding when it comes to being in a relationship? Now, that could be for someone who really wants to be in one. It could be for someone who actually knows they're avoiding. But this is, let's say, you're not in one, um, or you're trying to be in one. I'm trying to put several questions together because avoidance can be I'm avoiding looking myself, I'm avoiding looking at uh, what I need to do. And the stalemate that comes up here is, well, everything's gone stale, so you might need a little rejuvenation in your own personal life. You might need to start looking at how can I step up to the plate to be a person that somebody else wants to go out with. We have a lot of tendency to ask others to be what we want, but are you what someone would want? Do you have everything necessary to create a relationship? Right. So look and see what you're asking for. Because if you are representative of what you want, you should get it easily. It should come really easily, I would say. So let's look at what else. Harvest. So that is a clear indicator. If you've been avoiding looking at things within yourself, you've been avoiding relationship, you've been avoiding people, places, events. This says time to harvest what is already there within you. I know that sounds really new agey and hokey and sort of like a slogan, but if you really look at it, you can go even if you don't know what's um, valuable within you. You can start to look within and even do the most daring thing. The most daring thing is to ask someone, what is the best thing about me and what is the worst thing about me? And usually they're the same side of a sorry, the opposite sides of the same coin. And um, you can look at your most negative quality and see that it can turn into your most positive, so you could work with that so it isn't so negative, or at least when it's negative it's exciting. Let's say. All right, one more. Looking at relationships, what you can let go of, what self-care and energy. This is beautiful. So here it's like take care of yourself, figure out what it is um, that you can harvest within yourself, and stop avoiding those things. You know, stop avoiding the things that you want to do, that you like, whether it's, you know, tomorrow you decide you're going to learn how to ski, or you're going to go to the gym, you're going to um, if you haven't been working out, you start to work out, you're going to change your diet, you're going to start to draw. Let's say you said you want to draw or play a musical instrument. I know this is just, okay, my New Year's resolution. I'm not saying that. Don't just make this a New Year's resolution, make it a self discovery. You know, take care of yourself, especially for January and February till we get to spring, because spring is a great time to. Um, to see the growth. Harvest time has passed us, yet it's telling us, hey, we're going to need to harvest. So it could take all the way till the next to next autumn. So for the southern hemisphere, that's going to be in March. For the northern hemisphere, that for us is in September. So you could really look at, hey, if I look at my entire year, I've got these winter months, I can do a lot of self-care. Maybe I could go to the gym and take care of my body. Maybe I could change my diet to something that nourishes me a lot better than it has been. Maybe I need to change my workout routine, whatever it is you need to do to take care of it, whatever you've been avoiding. I'm using working out, but um, it could be meeting up with friends. You know, that's what if you haven't been meeting up with friends, or you've been avoiding finding new friends, you know, that kind of thing, so that you can be um, what what it is you want from a relationship. Now, don't assume you already are, right? Because there's a lot of stuff. You know, when I look on TikTok and I look at self-help sections for the last 40, 50 years, um, I look at feminist material, you know, it's always, you know, we're already the best that we can be. We don't, oh, come on, right? Just, it's time to grow up too. If you have that kind of attitude for this year, time to grow up and realize if I'm not in a relationship, I need to set something up so that I am what I want to see in a relationship. Uh, you know, I find that really, really, really uh, incredibly simple way to open up and get into a relationship. Usually, someone who says, I'm everything and I've got it all, and somebody should, just want to be with me. And usually you just don't have it all. Usually it's just a defense mechanism, it's just a coping. So be careful that avoidance isn't coming up in either direction. Now, if you're really insecure, if you're, down on yourself, time to get up and stop avoiding those great things about you. If you're super, super positive and you're full of yourself and, you think that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, time to look and see what you haven't dealt with. And, for those like guys and girls out there who have a lot of partners to sleep with, okay, that- that's fine if you're enjoying that. I don't believe most people end up having a good life if you've done that, but you could kind of look and see, all right, is that what I want? If you're looking for a relationship, if you're not, don't look at don't compare yourself. If someone is out there comparing themselves to those people, don't do that. Don't compare yourself. You're looking for something very different if you're looking for a relationship. All right, lots to talk about in there. So maybe someone has questions about a relationship. I've had a lot of experience dealing with people in their relationships and the mistakes that people have made. Huge, huge mistakes. People have definitely had lots of mistakes. They haven't listened um, to the signs from a reading, maybe because I was too gentle. I know that people have gone to other readers. I'm not just talking about me. You could even use your phone. There's apps where you can put tarot cards and you'll get an answer. And of course, that's up to your interpretation. I'll tell you one last funny one. Uh, Many years ago, someone called me. In those days, today we have cell phones, everything's by email and text and blah blah blah. We don't have to talk to people. But in those days I'd be trapped on the phone with people who would call me up. I didn't have a secretary ever. Very short time. So this gal calls me up and says, I have a question, but because you can get the answers online for free, I don't want to pay you. I don't want to make an appointment. So I said, so go online and get it for free. You don't need me. If it's online for free, you don't need me. And then a few days pass and she calls me back and she says, yeah, I did go online, but I don't know how to interpret it. And I said, well, that's why you have me, and that's you would I that's why I charge so that you could come and have me do it. Now that was just to point out that we can trick ourselves. So this gal couldn't read it. Most people can read it. Some people can't quite interpret sometimes it's a cryptic message because your question could be terrible, which takes quite a bit of training. Um, to ask the appropriate questions. You can see that I always struggle with the questions because the cards are not going to give you what you want. They are going to give you exactly what they give you, and your interpretation is a huge part of it. And there's also a lot of practitioners or intuitives who believe that their intuition is bang on, and uh, I don't necessarily do that. I believe that I need to doubt that. It's a belief. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't doubt it, but I doubt it and I check. So my intuition tells me something, my cards tell me something, and the way my intuition and the cards combine in my brain also tells me something. And I also use numbers, I use the moon cycle, I use, that we're in the new year. So that also helps me know, hey, what is this trying to say? Well, if I look at the cards that say, oh, maybe um, we need to look at our confusion, like we said, and confusion, and oh, sorry, it's upside down. This is confusion and stagnation, but it goes to harvest. Oh, okay. So I've got confusion and stagnation. Sorry, avoidance and stagnation. So, of course, I need to harvest something from there, and it's done through self care. Now, if we look at the season we're in, well, in the south, it's summer. Southern hemisphere, it's summer, so that means quieter. There's growth, and then in the northern hemisphere, we're very quiet, and we're rejuvenating, we're sleeping, we're hibernating till spring. So those things also tell us. So I like to triple check what's going on in the work that we're doing. So that's what makes it a little bit more difficult to read your own cards. But with those things in mind, hopefully it helps you to be able to better read cards when you use an app. All right. I hope everyone's going to have the most wonderful evening. Happy New Year. It's going to be 2025. Have a great one. A great new year, and see you on the flip side. Bye.